Welcome to the Outer Realm with MicheleDerocher and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday night segment of The Outer Realm. We're broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network, UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 FM from the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM from New Orleans. We're fully sponsored by the amazing folks over at Folgers Coffee, who have been a part of our journey for the last several years. So thank you, Folgers. We couldn't do it without you, nor would we want to. Also, big thank you to Justin Snicker, a.k.a. Dr. Snick, the Sonic Surgeon, for the contribution of his time, his music, and his voice for the intro you just heard. He's an award-winning composer of Halloween, horror, sci-fi, and dark wave electronic music, which can be found on all of your favorite music streaming platforms. Also, big thank you to Steve McGinnis, the artist behind the banners and logos here at the show. Check him out on Facebook and Instagram. Also specializes in the horror genre, but does great commission pieces of all sorts. And look who I found.
I'm like bursting at the seams.
I found an Amelia.
Oh, I missed your face so much.
I know.
Missed your face so much. I'm like, every chance I got, it was in the chat room.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
We haven't gone too far, trudging along. So, but
oh, my
great.
gosh.
Great to have you sitting across from me again. I think you'd get here eventually.
Amazing to be here. Let's see if I remember everything.
Well, I figured once you got over the plague, it would actually work out okay. But
let me tell you something. People have asked me, and I'm like, don't ask me what I have. Go see a doctor if you're worried. That's all I'm saying. I'm not a doctor. So
yeah, right.
Seek medical advice where you're supposed to, not online.
Good thing to say.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good night to be back because it's a fun night.
Oh, yes, of course.
We're among friends. We're among colleagues.
Yes, you do not surround yourself with stupid people.
I'm a thinker.
No, I haven't been drinking. It's just me, guys, remember? Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, she's been hibernating for the last 6 weeks. So,
Oh, boy. Yeah.
But tonight, guys, we've got really, again, dear friends, Preston Dennett, Dolly Safran, giving us the scoop on the long-awaited Symmetry 2. And y'all better have read Symmetry 1 by now, for God's sake. So we shouldn't have to be telling you what you're missing. So without further ado, we bring on Preston Dennett, Dolly Safran.
It's family night.
That's right. I know.
It's family night.
I missed you.
Pardon?
I missed you, Amelia. You have no
I
idea.
missed you guys.
Where is she?
Every time I saw that you were on and I was with her, I was just like, because I would have been the worst person to be on here because I was hacking like crazy and no voice. Everybody here was so happy.
Oh my God.
I couldn't talk. They're all like,
you can imagine,
yeah. Just make her make dinner and then put her back in her room.
Plague girl. Yeah.
But anyways, it's so good to be back. And of all nights, I'm so happy to be here with you guys.
Thank you. We are too. We're honored, honestly. Very much so.
Oh my gosh.
You're my favorite people.
Aww. I love you.
Well, you know how I feel about you guys. All our birthdays follow each other, by the way. Just saying.
That's right.
Oh God.
6.
7.
Isn't that crazy?
What?
Preston is 6.
I'm 7.
7, and I'm 8.
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, I don't follow any of you. But yeah, that is so cool. And you know what? My dad was May 5th.
Oh, now see, it's
Wow.
now a family thing. It's a family thing. It has to be.
Yeah,
Oh, my
it
goodness.
My
has
dad
to
was
be.
May
Has to
5th.
be.
5, 6, 7. Oh
My
my
grandmother was
gosh.
May 4th.
Surrounded by tourists.
Pardon? You're
Literally.
Yeah, my grandmother's May 4th. My sister's May 2nd.
look
So
at that.
we needed May 3rd somewhere in
Yeah.
here to stick.
I have an aunt and an uncle. They're both are tourists as well. So it's like, wow.
Amelia's the 19th. Janie, how the heck did you know that?
I
You've
know.
been on here way too long. Yeah,
Yeah.
but mine's in March.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm the
Wow.
problem
That's cool,
child of
too.
all the zodiac signs.
Yeah.
It fits
My
my life.
firstborn
completely.
cousin, my first male cousin on my dad's side is May 8th. He's the first grandson, and I'm the first granddaughter, and I'm May 8th. So it's like,
Wow.
yeah, we followed
That
each
is really cool. Well, I mean, I don't have that kind of fancy story. I've told this before. I was actually born on the anniversary of my sister's death.
What?
Wow.
Ooh,
Believe it
that's
or not.
interesting as all
They
get out.
Me
Yeah.
after her because I mean, I was one of those menopausal babies, even though my mom and dad never say that.
That's good.
Well, I'm 9 years after my youngest brother and 18
Right.
from my oldest. So there's 4
Wow.
kids in between me. But, you
Yeah.
know, they always said, no, we wanted to try again for a girl. Yeah, I highly doubt that at 40. But anyways, it's okay. You know,
And
they
here
got
you
to
are.
perfection.
I know.
You know, it only took them a few tries. I mean, my sister
Oh.
doesn't count. Poor thing, she passed away as a baby, but she passed away on a Thursday, March 19th at 8:00 in the morning. I was born on a Wednesday, which my birthday will land on that day this year
Wow.
at 8:00 in the morning on March 19th.
Wow.
And the doctor's like, why are you crying? You wanted to have a girl. Because at this point, they had 3 boys. So my mother was done, right? And she explained the story, and he was just in shock. He's like, holy cow.
Oh, there's your sign. Somebody.
What are the chances that, you
Just
know, God
born into high
forbid you lose a
strangeness. You were
baby?
just meant to do it.
Yeah. But I don't look anything like her. So
You don't have to.
no, I don't feel like I have her with me. I don't feel like, I mean, I feel like some of her, but not like how some people, you know, like, I don't know. It's just my daughter's like spitting image to my first that I lost, Gabrielle. She is a spitting image of her. And she was born a year and 9 days later. And spitting image, body shape, everything. So I believe I believe Savarina came back when it was time. You know, but yeah,
I've heard of that. Yeah.
well, I believe that pregnancy was because my mother was dying, and it was that opportunity for me to share that moment, to tell her I was expecting, but my mom, being gifted, told me I was pregnant. So I didn't get it anyway.
My mother did that to me. I was pregnant. She said, you have something to tell me. And she said, you're going to have a baby, aren't you? And I was like, I'll be danged.
No, I just opened the door and true to her sailor mouth self, like her daughter, but in Italian, said, Holy, you're pregnant, aren't you? And I'm like,
I am? I would have said, what?
damn.
Damn. Yeah.
So I think
always the last to know.
Yeah, always be grateful and thankful for the little things that are so much bigger later in life.
Exactly.
So there really is a silver lining to every rainbow.
Yep.
Hello, everyone.
Well,
I'm
there
going to
should
stop
be.
talking. I'm not the guest.
Well, so tonight is going to be a fun night because you guys are giving us the scoop on dun, 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 Symmetry 2.
Yes.
Yep.
Ooh, very
First
exciting.
interview ever. No one's gotten it yet.
Yeah.
Awesomeness.
I'd whistle if I
We
could.
love you for that. Thank you. So, I mean, Symmetry 1 did really, really well, of course, as we knew it would.
Always.
You know.
Well, I hope so.
Well, yeah, for sure. Well, all your books do well, first off, but this was Symmetry 1 was sort of the first of its kind, I think.
Yeah, you know, it was. You know, there are some people out there who have had really extensive experiences. Betty Andreasen, she's got a lot of experiences, mostly recalled under hypnosis, though.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a few what I would call fully conscious contactees.
Mm-hmm.
And oh man, you know, when I found Dolly, or she found me, I should say, I'm like, this is a good one. And it took a good took a couple of years actually before I realized how amazing her story was.
Mm-hmm.
easily. You know,
And how
no
amazing
underline that.
she is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the most extensive case of contact.
It's a guy thing. Don't worry about it.
You're amazing, Dolly.
Yeah.
We know I like
Aw. Aw.
you.
Thank you. I don't
That's so
always
sweet.
feel that way, just so you know.
Oh, it's not
I
Dr.
didn't
Phil.
find him. I was told to find him. I gave up trying to find somebody to talk to, and Talata's the one that put me on him. We were on board, and I was, frustrated. And he said, "Get paper and pencil," and I had some in my room, so they brought it to me, and I said, "Okay, what's the name?" And he said, "I'm spelling it. Write it down," because I'm a terrible speller. And he said, Preston. I'm like, okay. I still don't know who this is. Dennett. And I'm like, okay, who is this? And he goes, "You don't know who it is?" And he says, "Well, I'm proud of you, because they wanted me not to go out into ufology at all. They wanted me to stay away from everybody and not be influenced by them at all."
Really?
Yeah, I knew nothing. When I started looking, I went nuts. Yeah, I was shocked about what's going on. And so when I emailed him, he emailed me back within 24 hours. And I was like, oh, okay. But I had already gone through his videos, and I found one from 1992, 91, something like that. And he was giving it wasn't MUFON, it was some other group. And he was doing a book on healing. He was presenting for healings. And I listened to him talk through the whole thing. And I mean, he had side chops in this video. Okay.
No.
He was very, very young, more hair, everything.
I had hair, yep.
Yeah.
And there was a time I had hair.
I like bald men.
Yeah.
Oh,
He started talking, and nothing he said was incorrect. Nothing. I was like, oh my God. And he stuck to the data, which I really was kind of hoping he would do. And his take on things was very common sense, very cognizant of what's really going on. He didn't make any bones about what he was talking about at all. And he had a real grip on everything. And I went, well, there it is. So I emailed him, and then he emailed me back. And I mean, that was fast.
That took me 10 years to get a grip. Just saying. There's a lot of stuff out there. But yeah, thank you, Talata. That's very cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Give Talata a shout out. Because, man, oh man, that absolutely changed my life.
Yes. Well, I think that was your path. It was supposed to happen when the time was right. I mean, so and plus this is your thing. You write about other people's accounts, you research it, you put it on paper, and this is what you're known for. You put out all these books, and people know that your books are well researched. So the time, of course, was bound to happen where you were going to end up with really, well, what I say, with a mouthful. And I say that with the fact of there's so much information. It's kind of like, it could be very overwhelming. Because I know Dolly and I've had tons of talks, and things come out. I'm like, okay, wait, I gotta get a pen. I am never gonna freaking remember this.
Hit record on the phone. It's
and 15 minutes from now, we'll forget it all.
One of the things that I was briefed to do when I started coming out, and I found somebody to talk to, was I was told that I have to let it evolve naturally, that I can't just let it all out at one time. And there were reasons for that. I understood them totally, because I didn't want him to think that I was completely off my rocker. Okay. And being a researcher, I let him do his work. Yeah, I let him do his work. He's a very good researcher. He's very good at what he does. And I just let it all happen naturally, and went through it that way. That way he was ready for everything I said to him. Literally, he took steps to be ready to hear what I was going to say. He used his background in research and other research that he'd done to know what to ask me and things like that, which was good, because that helped me come forward to him about a lot of stuff. And as the years have gone by, now it's to the point where I just blurt stuff out to him. I say, I got to tell you something today. You really ready to hear this now? And I'll explain it to him. And he's like, okay. And that's what Symmetry 2 is about. This is about the rest of the information that I wanted to give. But it was no point in me doing that until I did the book was to do what I did with Preston. Let it come out naturally. Let it come to give people a chance to catch up with what I'm talking about and what I'm saying. You know,
it's all about timing. It really is. If Dolly and I had met earlier, I don't know. I really needed the research under my belt to deal with Dolly's story. And she started
Exactly.
piloting the craft. Thankfully, I had interviewed a couple of people who had already told me this. But she started telling me stuff that I really had to take a step back and go, huh,
This
wow.
is a thing. It really is a thing. Yeah.
Were you frightened by it or more intrigued?
Not the least bit frightened. I was,
Good.
I was chomping at the bit. I'm like, I got a good one here.
Yeah.
And, I know Dolly has had a lot of experiences and basically kept quiet most of her life with this. So when we started doing interviews, it was not easy for her. I had to be really patient to get some of these details out. I'm like, okay, wait a second. You just described going on board in one sentence. Let's draw this out a little bit. There's details here.
I'm not used to thinking it through like that at all. I know. That's the thing. One of the things that amazes me, and this goes to the being quiet part, I was trained to shut up, and I learned personally when I was younger that it's not a good idea to tell anybody anything about myself at all. Because the minute I start doing that, I get attacked or reviled or called names, not good ones, things like that. And so I just kept it to myself. And the only friend I had knew it was true because she was a participant. They were taking her on board as well. And so she's having experiences with me. They weren't as complicated as mine were, but she was my companion in the trenches. Okay.
Right. Yes.
That helped me a lot when we were younger, a lot. Because I at least had one person who knew that kind of thing. And she knew better to talk too. The things that I was learning, one of the reasons they didn't want me to pay a lot of attention to what was going on around me on this planet was that the things that I was learning was advanced. And they knew that I was going to react badly to what goes on here. And I do. Now I do. Trust me, it's not pretty watching me react to people. What's going on? It's like, oh no.
I hear you, sister.
It's hard. It's difficult, right? Just
very, very. Oh my God.
I would imagine. Yeah.
So I have Preston has helped me develop an outer skin to this. He's very calm.
I warned
very
you.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're gonna go through the ringer here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And DT's warned you that as well. So
yes, they did.
So how did Preston? I mean, let's face it. I think as researchers, we all put ourselves out there. They're going to love you or they're going to hate you, and you'll have a few in between. So, just with the comment you just made about being put through the ringer, what was your biggest fear on this coming forward with this story? Because it's an incredible story, but in the same breath, in the back of your mind, did you think nobody's going to get this? Like,
no, I didn't have any fear of that. Really, I knew that there would be people who would absolutely reject it because this subject, ufology, it's a core belief. It's very much, in the neighborhood of religion and politics. People use it to define their place in this universe. And if you don't believe in UFOs and people come at you with information that is a wall of truth, they're going to lose their minds. You would not believe the names I've been called. And people have reacted violently.
wow.
I mean, really upset. I'm like, listen, that doesn't bother me. I know that this story, this information will reach those who are receptive to it.
Who need it.
Yeah.
So,
that's tough.
but it did really, I was absolutely really pleased how it was received. I'm one of those who does read the reviews.
Yes.
Don't read the reviews.
You've written enough books and done very well with them, and they're fantastic books. So you have that reputation of being honest and discerning, careful. So I would imagine that it will be extremely well received, and even more than you think, especially with everything going on.
I think my fear was, how it might affect Dolly. I will say I was a little concerned about that because when I first started writing, she was anonymous. And right before publication,
Don't I know that feeling, Michelle?
I want to go public with my name. I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah, here we go.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
He tested the waters. He has a book before Symmetry. It's the
Onboard UFO encounters.
Onboard UFO. So there's a blurb about me in there. I'm one of the little stories. And he sent me the book. Before he sent it to me, though, he had a phone call with me and he said, okay, I'm either going to put your name in or I'm not. It's up to you. What do you want to do? And I knew that anonymity was over because you don't come out and say the things that I say without standing up for it. Okay. If I hide behind a wall, I'm not going to be taken seriously. And I knew I was prepared.
Face it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
the story carries a lot more weight if you put your name behind it.
Yeah.
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, go ahead,
Do you think, all the interviews, but you guys now have the light gate and you've had for the last year at least. And being out there every single week, when you're being interviewed, when you're on other people's shows, you're kind of going along the beat of their drum, the host's drum. Whereas when you're the host of your own show, you have the flexibility to say it like it is and put out there what you want to put out there.
Right.
So do you find that helped ease things a little bit?
No.
To some extent.
No.
Wrong answer.
No.
I'm just going to be quiet and drink my coffee.
It's a big pot of everything out there, okay? And so bringing what I understand to be reality out there in Preston and truth. We want people to come and talk about their experiences. We want them to talk about their whatever it is they're involved in with regards to this. And it's not just UFOs. It's everything psychic. It's everything ghosts and mediumship and all of that stuff. ETs are not just extraterrestrials from off this planet. They are like us. They have all the same experiences we do. They have people who pass away and they see ghosts too. They can OBE. They do everything we do. And it's not fair to talk about one aspect of ufology. You have to include the whole boat because it's the only way to explain who these people really are, that they are related to us, that we're related to them. And it's all the same soup we're swimming in. And you have to give everybody a voice, or at least try. And, so run into a couple walls here and there, but other than that, it's awesomeness, Everybody sees things from their perspective. Everybody understands what they understand from where they're at.
Yeah, through the lens of their belief system.
Right. And you have to understand that you can't rewrite their perspective. It's their perspective. There is one thing that I do say, though, that's important. There is no such thing as your truth or my truth. It's your perspective. Truth is the truth. Truth is what reality is. There is only one truth. How we get to that truth takes perspective. Okay. It takes us to learn up the ladder of perspective to get to a truth. That's why we research. That's why we get empirical knowledge and data together so that we can with forethought, decide for ourselves what we understand to be true. And then we go from there. And it's an ever evolving thing. I mean, we're evolving people. And so you got to allow that,
Right.
And, what's amazing to me is people will hear Dolly tell her story and come across, they come out with a completely different idea of what she actually said. I have this problem too. People sometimes have trouble listening, especially if it's, if your belief system is rigid and you don't believe in UFOs, you're not going to hear like all the evidence. People tell me, well, there's no evidence for what she just said. I'm like,
they're still deniers.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. I just say, it's not up to me to convince you that I'm real or what I say is true. It's up to you to research for yourself what I'm saying. And you can't just deny me out the gate. You have to go look it up and figure it out. And I leave clues. I tell you where to go look and la, 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 la. And if you don't do it, that's on you. It's not on me.
Yeah. What really bothered me was when people would say, well, if Dolly's experiences are real, why doesn't she just take Preston on board? I'm like, listen.
How do you know she hasn't?
She did. She
Wow.
absolutely did. But that
There we
wasn't,
go.
you know, that'll be another story. I'll probably put that in Symmetry too. I'm thinking about it.
You should. You should.
Because it is
Yeah.
relevant.
It is, and
Yeah.
it lends credence
I wanted
to.
Dolly's story to stand on her own. You know, if you
Yes.
don't believe her, that's fine. If just because I had an experience doesn't mean like, okay, now she's credible. It's like, what's wrong with you?
But we've had like hundreds and hundreds of people. You've interviewed people. Joe's interviewed people. Dolly's had the experience. You've had your own experience. Michelle. I mean, it's all over television. I am in shock. What happened since I've been gone? Like when I left.
You're in denial because you have experiences you refuse to acknowledge. That's your problem.
Yes, but I don't. But I don't say that it doesn't exist. I'm just scared to find out what it is. But I never say it doesn't. Like to deny that it's completely not happening is just.
Yeah, skeptics have a
Wow. I'm a
real
little bit
talent for
shocked.
ignoring evidence. They won't even look at it. I know this
But
because I
it's
was a
all over
skeptic.
the news. They're even saying it. It's not like.
See, I find that hard to believe that you're a skeptic, Preston, because you're so thorough.
I was a skeptic, and finding out it was real made me even weirdly more skeptical because I'd been lied to.
Yeah.
I hadn't been told the truth.
Yeah.
So now I have to. I do a lot of really critical. This is why I'm so thorough because it freaks me out to find out that I was 21 years old and it completely went under my radar.
Mm-hmm.
I was that's young. 21 is young.
It is. Yeah, you're thinking usually of other things, not alien beings and flying craft and writing about it. And no, exactly. It became a reality.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm so excited about Symmetry too, because Symmetry is a true UFO adventure. It's an adventure story. That's how I wanted to sort of frame the narrative, because it's such an exciting story. But it kind of missed out on the good stuff, which is the knowledge that Dolly has learned from the ETs. So we're still going to put in some really cool adventure stories. And I've got some I'd love to share tonight because we haven't talked about them.
I say do it.
But the science, the knowledge about other dimensions, we're putting that about how the ETs view the universe, psychic abilities, all the terms that are being misused, vibration and frequency. We're going to cover that. But yes, this is going to be a different book.
Yes. So
frequency and vibrations being misused? Sorry, I'm just
people misunderstand what frequency is. I'll tell you real quick. This is in the book. You can, if you hear it now, maybe it'll hit you when you read it if you get the book. A frequency is a byproduct of an action or an energy. And I'm just going to do this away from the mic. I just created a frequency. I clapped my hands.
Correct.
Okay, and it's a specific frequency to that. Your brain,
the thought of for every action, there's a reaction.
Equal or opposite reaction. Yeah, but because we live in a world where, in a third dimension, where sound, we're misusing what sound and frequency really are. Is that you hear the sound of the frequency and you assume that the frequency is something on its own. No, it's not. Your brain has frequency. You think in alpha, beta, theta, gamma, delta, right? And you create your own frequency. Every human being has a signature frequency, like a thumbprint. I can identify you by your frequency.
I'm still at alpha.
Okay, I can identify the planet.
That's how the ETs find people too. They don't use implants to locate you. They know your frequency.
No, the implants we've already confirmed that's more.
Right. I can identify a planet by its frequency. I can identify a star by its frequency, or a moon, or a quasar, or an asteroid, or a comet. Everything has its own frequency.
Yeah. Blind people use
byproduct of sound.
Yeah.
Psychic ability, the frequency of psychic ability is alpha, beta, theta, gamma, delta. We are conscious, sentient beings, and we emit frequencies. The grass emits a frequency. Animals emit a frequency. And we are psychic. We have the equipment, and we can hear those frequencies. We can hear each other talking. Okay? to be open up. And when I say wide open yourself psychically, in other words, wake up, I'm just telling you to turn the sound, the volume up that you're using to capture frequency from your own abilities, your own consciousness. And
You
your
can
own
increase the volume of the frequency. You can't raise, your
or
vibration.
lower the frequency, right? We are beings that are in source. And source is the major frequency of everything. That's why ET believes in the all mind, because the all mind is source. Okay? It is what created everything, including us. We are not here going back there. We're already there. We've projected out here. We're just using this vehicle. So you're really connected to source, not your body. When you OBE at night, though, you have an energy connection to your heart so that you don't disconnect and let your body go.
Yeah.
But you're still connected to source. We hear the source. We hear God. We hear everything and everybody clean across the universe, because that's where your psychic talking is. Those are the
But if you're not tuned in, it would sound like almost just clutter.
chatter and static.
Like the radio, when you
Yes,
don't really have a
exactly.
radio, clock
Yeah.
radio, and you're waking up to that.
Yes.
That's annoying.
I know.
Can you tell them
Well,
to,
what's annoying
if they're going to take me, to please let me sleep a little bit, because I feel like I'm being dropped from 300 feet above.
Yeah, I know.
And
Same thing. I've had days, trust me. All of that. Part of the experience.
They wipe my memory though. I don't remember anything. If it's happening, I just have like little its and bitsy kind of feelings.
You choose that. You're protecting yourself. And that's okay.
Am I? Okay.
Yes. You're protecting yourself.
Thank you.
You didn't come here to decide anything but what you want to do. Okay? And if you don't want to remember, you're not going to.
I wanted to build a house out of blocks of $10,000 bills, but
you're perfectly right to do that. And nobody has the right to tell you otherwise. You are who you are, and you're here for a reason, and you're fulfilling that. You help people, you use your psychic abilities, you're very in tune with everything, you know what you're doing, and you don't have to answer to anybody for why you only want to do what you want to do. Every human being on this planet, in this universe, has that right. Everybody.
yeah.
One of the things that I want people to hear about this is when you say raising your frequency, what you want to say instead of that is, I am learning and evolving and becoming wiser. And in wisdom, you employ knowledge. Okay. Wisdom is the byproduct of employing knowledge. Once you become wise enough to get off this crater that we call Earth and go up into another realm or whatever, or do whatever you're going to do, graduate from this school, that's what you do. Some people are constantly coming back and forth to this planet. Some people stay here for a little while and go somewhere else and then come back. It just depends on where you're at.
Is there a back door?
What?
Is there a back door so we don't have to come back? Like, I'm so done with high school. I slept through the last high school I went to. I slept through the 4 years. So I'm just wondering, is there a way they can just like dump us a little bit further ahead? Because we've done this. I'm starting to feel like a Cullens from Twilight. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to do that. I think when you leave here, if you're that determined not to come back again, that's up to you and whoever you're with on the other side before you decide where you're going next.
I say it out loud almost every day. I do not want to
that determined. I'm right there with you, just so you know. I'm not coming back here. I'm done. Ta-da! I'm done. Okay? No. I want to go to the other side where I'm eating cannoli and it's not landing on my hips. I'm on that side. Yeah, we're good.
Sorry. We're leaving. I have to have the
we'll hang out, okay? Well, I'll make sure.
Yes. Take me with you.
Yeah. The point is this. We're here to learn, right? We're here to experience life and to get as much from that experience and that knowledge that we gain before we leave. Nothing else. Every place in the universe is a different classroom, literally, in each dimension. And each one you ascend to. Ascension. Now, I will tell you this. You have to do the work. Nobody's going to do it for you. You're not going to be taken by your hand and led up. That doesn't work that way. You have to do it yourself. Every one of us is responsible for our own responsibility for ourselves. Okay. And nobody can make us bypass anything. And it's still up to you what you want to learn, but you must achieve that before you move up or ascend.
You know,
Yeah,
there
but
are
it's
guys
just,
who will show you the way. You know,
Right.
yeah.
and
Yeah,
point
you
the
have plenty of
direction.
people everywhere helping you. That's not a problem,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
have to make the decision.
It's almost the same in life, really. Like you could have the same opportunities. You just have to believe in it. I'm a firm believer in manifestation and focus, and
Right, exactly.
know,
Your
It's all about
statement is correct.
intention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Intention is everything. You
Like
can
I see
intend to
in
do
chat,
good.
people are saying, "How do you remember?" You intend to. Wanting, like one of you guys in there said, is definitely a step towards it. Meditation is a really good pathway to remembering your experiences, not just UFOs, but everything that's going on at night.
I will tell you all this. We're taught to fear from the minute we're born on this planet, and that is your number one enemy in life. Your fear actually is a partner with you in not remembering, because you're fearing something. I will state that plainly and exactly. It is fear that stops you from wanting to remember. And
There
that
are ways to
we all
overcome
have
fear
to deal
too.
with that. Everybody does. Whatever you fear, you must face it and figure it out.
Percent. Start with little things that you fear, maybe a spider or something.
I don't like the little ones, but I like the big puppies.
There you go. I used to eat spiders when I was little. I freaked my mother out.
So did Emily Rose. What were you thinking?
I don't know. They were tasty. I don't know.
Oh, who knows?
I'm not afraid of them either, which is weird. I'll play with them now. That I think they're cool as heck. But when I was 2 years old, I didn't know better, and I ate them. Yeah.
I don't like to kill anything.
No, I don't either.
And I love tarantulas. So
yeah.
But going back to what you said, Dolly, employing knowledge, not raising your frequency, is exactly the key, because you can't just say, I'm going to raise my frequency and go out of body. But if you know the steps, you take that knowledge and you employ it, you will start having these experiences.
Right.
And the more experiences we gather throughout life, we start to overcome fear, because, knowledge replaces fear. It overcomes fear. So the more you know.
I can make a real plain view for you to think about this. When you're learning to write, you have a piece of paper and you have a big old pencil or crayon or whatever, and you write the A in this language, B, C, D. You learn to write the alphabet. And that's understanding language. You are not raising your frequency to do that. You are taking the steps to understand something you don't know yet so that you can communicate. Frequency is where communication is. You're hearing the frequency of all communication, and you're learning to single it out so that you can pinpoint it one at a time or 20 at a time. But that's the communication of language, and you have to learn the steps how to do that. And you can't raise your frequency because it's already there. You're turning the volume up with knowledge and understanding. That's what's going on.
Makes sense, because everywhere in the world has a language, has some form of alphabet or little alphabet. But do you believe that people who were perhaps incredible communicators on the other side who come here are the ones who are speaking multiple languages and have a thirst for the knowledge with language?
I think it's more connected to the fact that you've lived a whole bunch of lives here, and then you already have the languages already in your consciousness.
I was asking for myself, because language is very easy for me. So
you probably remember past lives.
You carry the knowledge and the skills you've learned through lifetimes.
Yeah. When I was little, I was remembering past lives, and it became apparent to me that I started singing songs in other languages I never spoke here. I was only 2 and 3, and everybody's going, how the heck did she learn that? I didn't even know I was making sense. I just was singing something I remembered. And then and a couple times it came back to haunt me in weird ways, but I realized that the language is already in your consciousness. Your consciousness remembers everything. Every language you've ever spoke is up there in your consciousness. It's your physical mind that's having to learn new. Okay, you're programming from your consciousness to your physical mind. And so people who have a proclivity toward that are just paying attention to it. They remember it. The connection is very deep, and they hear it, and it's like, boom, 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 I got this. I can do it, It's like Preston. He speaks French really well. He was French in a prior life, a recent prior life. And I think he just nodded up till he redid it for himself. And
French words would slip into my school papers. It's funny. And my spelling was English. I'd spell color with a U. And it kept circling. I'm like, no, that's how it's spelled. found out, well, yeah, it is spelled, but in another country.
Right.
Yeah, couleur.
There you go. Yeah.
EUR.
So
Canadian.
like
Everybody has to speak French here. But
Yeah.
oh wow.
So moving forward, then you have things that you're putting in the book. You have stories. You have
Yeah.
adventures.
Here's one I want to share because it's.
Yes.
I wrote a book.
Go
These are-
crazy. Go crazy. Yeah.
I wrote a book on schoolyard UFO encounters,
Yeah.
which is, we all know the Rua Zimbabwe case at Ariel Elementary School where a UFO landed next to a school.
Mhm.
Some 60 kids, well, like 200 kids were on the playground, but at least 60 saw it. It's a great case. Of course, there's the Westall High School case in Melbourne, Australia, one
Yeah,
in
that's a big
Florida,
one.
one in Wales. I mean, 100 cases all over the world. So, there's so much I couldn't fit in Symmetry. And one day I just turned to Dolly, I'm like, I don't suppose you ever visited a school. She's like, well, yeah, actually we did. And there's one I can talk about. I'm like, wait, one? So you did this more than once? She's like, well, yeah, actually. So we got to, tell that story, Dolly. It's a really interesting story where she visited a school in, I think it was
Illinois.
Avon?
Yeah, Avon Park Elementary School. In the Midwest was my territory. I've always, talked about that a lot. And in the 80s, we were during the day we'd been up all night long working, and we were still hanging around. And Talata's like, I have one more thing I want to do. I'm like, okay, because he calls the ball. It's he's the mission man, okay. And we were over Avon Park, Illinois. He said, look. And I'm looking, I said, that looks like an elementary school. And he said, it is. He said, watch. And they came out to play. And he said, let's have some fun today. And I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? And he said, let's go. And I said, what are we doing? Explain it. He says, you're going to drop. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to drop. We have a field in the back of the school. And we went down. The little guys saw us. Every last one of them turned and stared at us really, really hard, mouths open, shocked, running around. And
love kids. They're so cute.
We did a swing. I swung. I'm weird. I don't do things like other people. I have my own way of flying. And so when I dropped, I tipped so they could see us. Okay. And then I brought us up somewhat level. And then I did what they call a swing. I swung to the right, and then I swung over to the left, and I swung back to the middle, and I went up a little ways, and I came back down. And we had their attention. They were absolutely honest. They were looking. And I said, this is good, right? And he said, yeah. And I did what they call a surprise flop up. I went straight up out into the stratosphere. I went out of everything. I just and they were stunned. And I said, why did we do this? And he said, because
that's what I was going to ask you. Yeah.
Because this is when I learned, this is one of the first ones that I did, by the way. I learned that the youth of the world, operative word here, world, are open. They are not filtered yet with all kinds of stupid stuff. And their belief system relies on what they see, not what they know, or they think they know. And elementary is right at the right age, between the ages of 5 and 12, where they're not writing the book of what they think 100%. They're already thinking, wow, what is that? And they will go. They're also good observers. Little children see more than adults do in a strange, weird way. They're more able to give you details that adults miss.
They're better witnesses, honestly.
They're much better witnesses. And so I'm saying we, ET, decided that worldwide, and they'd been doing it for a long time, since the 50s, 40s, and 30s, to come down and let people see them. And children are their number one bet, because those children grow up to be adults who have seen reality and taken it with them. That's what.
So the perception, essentially, because we were talking about perception earlier, the perception now has been changed, because this experience is imprinted on on their subconscious. No matter what happens, it's going to sit deep down, and they may be more accepting of future contact.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's important. We're also dealing with the last, I want to say the last 20 years. Parents are not, how do I put this? The educational system and the media have more to imprinting children with what they want them to know than the actual families themselves. And this is tremendously disparaging toward ET. They think that this is completely not okay because they're sent in directions almost like they're being brainwashed before you even get a chance to let them think for themselves or see reality as it really is. And it's been concerning to them for a long time, at least 20 years that I'm aware of. And so all these kids from all the way back when, grow up. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I am only just now seeing younger people get into ufology. It's always been the older groups of people. Okay. And now all of a sudden I'm starting to see younger people jump on, but now I'm worried because they're talking from a perspective that may not be okay. I'm not sure that they're 100% aware of what their knowledge really is or what's really going on, because now in the last 20, 30 years, we have misinformation, disinformation going on that is to the point that nobody
not just with UFOs, with a lot of things.
Yes.
Everything, yeah.
Yes.
I was warned about this. I was told that I was going to be facing this when I came out, that we're getting close to everything happening all at once, and this is going to be a thing. And I was point blank asked straight to my face, what do you hope to accomplish by this? Because it's all on you. What do you want from this? And it's not what I want. I just want to plant seeds of truth. Let them grow. Let them help people, because the truth is better than believing a lie. It's way better. There are people who are so ingrained in what they think that they will not consider anything else. And so it takes planting a seed, because there's no way I'm going to make you believe anything I say. It's totally 100% up to you whether you
Conditioning runs deep.
Yes.
And it's hard to shed that.
My whole mission is just to let people know UFOs are real. If they can come away with just that, I think I'll have done my job. But that they're people. They are people like us.
Right. Exactly. They are. Don't imagine monsters or don't see things that aren't true, because unless you've seen one yourself, you really are not operating with 100% clarity yet. You still have things to learn.
The difference between belief and knowledge, which are, definitely close, but they're different things.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll tell you another little thing that I did once. I was in Indiana and I was done, and it was just me and Talata and two smaller grays. We were going back, and there's a road. I think it's 51 coming down the middle of Indiana.
Okay, I know this one. Yeah.
It was very late at night. It was in the 90s, and my daughter was probably an infant. Okay, so I really, really wanted to go home, but And I saw this lone vehicle on 51, and it's foggy there a lot. It's one of those nights.
This was not long after Close Encounters came out, right?
Yeah. It was
kind of the inspiration for this incident.
It was more like, yeah. And I saw this car, and I thought, oh, I'm just going to go down, and we can erase anything. I can make you see us as anything. So I went down and made myself look like a Chevy truck. And I got within, 25 feet of him, behind him. And I just went along pacing him. And he's looking at me, and he sped up, because what else are you going to do in the middle of the bloody night on a road with nothing? Why is he so close to me? He'd speed up. When he sped up, I sped up. And I thought, that's just not good enough. So I went up and I came back down. I don't think he saw me that time. So I did it again. I went up and I came back down. And this time he saw me. He was going like 120 miles an hour easy. And I thought, oh my God, he's going to kill himself. Don't do that. And I'm like sending mental messages. Calm down, calm down. I'm telling her to calm this guy down. He wasn't going to calm down. He's still doing 120 miles an hour. And that's when I went up over him and went way in front of him, and then came back down and faced him off. And he slammed on his brakes as hard as he could, came to a slamming, screaming halt. And I know that his seat got wet. Okay. He was over the steering wheel like this, looking at me, and I went, and I straight up and gone. And
Now, wait a second. Back up. Did he see you personally?
I was ready to ask that.
Yeah, you can see me.
You look now.
Where I'm at, you can see me over Talata if I tip. Okay. If I tip down, here's Talata. Here's Talata's at the bottom of the window. His console's right there. And then I'm right down slightly to the right, down in my seat. And I stood up and went.
And she's got red hair now.
Yeah, flaming red hair.
Redhead lady's like looking at
him. Yeah. And he just went, and I've been waiting years and years and years for somebody to call that one in. And I've looked all over MUFON and everything. I don't think he ever did. It was a guy, okay? And
apparently you're not the only one doing that, though, because so many cases of you guys chasing cars down highways, scaring the living daylights out of people.
No, you got to do it once. See, we're allowed to experience stuff as pilots. We're allowed to see what we're capable of doing. And it's not to be mean to anybody or anything. It's just I got to fly this monster, and I have to be able to do it right, you know? My reflexes are key here, and just watching people see how they react. I mean, that's all part of the equation of flying around human beings. And so I pulled that one that night just because, you know. And
just because I could.
People really
I will, you know. Yeah, I can, therefore I will. I don't know. And but I only did it once. I'm being honest. I'm a good girl. I remember that. You shouldn't scare the dogs out of everybody all the time. And so I've done some other things, but yeah.
But your pilot friends do it to a lot of other people. Just saying. Yeah. It's a thing. Cars being chased on the highway. It's a great method to sort of introduce people to UFOs.
Fear?
No,
I don't think tried to kill me. No wonder they're not telling anybody they're real.
Well, I didn't abduct him. Okay, I don't abduct people anyway. And I didn't. I mean, all he did was wet the seat. I think I'm pretty sure he wet the seat. Tala said, "Oh God, he wet the seat." Okay, because Tala can tap you very fast from craft, and oh no, this is not good.
This man is somewhere in, where was this? Wearing Depends right now.
Indiana, somewhere.
Oh yeah, wearing Depends. Yeah, he's probably moved from there.
I don't know, but I thought if he saw a human stand up and wave at him, it would be better. Okay, it's one thing to see an ET, you know, gray looking at you. It's another one to see a redhead.
I would think it's harder to see a human waving at you from a ship than it would be an alien. Be like, how the hell did they take you?
Pretty well in that window when I stand up. Yeah. I'm a little bit further back of Talata's console and downward, and then the grays usually sit up in the window and watch everything that I'm doing. Sometimes they're ground sighters. They'll say, okay, we're, you know, because Talata knows how close he is to the ground, but sometimes, you know, he's so busy doing what he's doing, we don't see something that's already on the ground right away. So they spot for us. Okay. They can see that we can't see. And animals will show up out of nowhere, you know, deer, elk, whatever, bears, all of it, they will show up because they hear us. Flying over the ocean, dolphins, that's a true story. Dolphins can hear us, and they will follow wherever the hell we are at. They know we're there.
Yeah. A lot of stories of that with dolphins and ships.
Whales,
and so on.
all of it. Yeah. Cetaceans,
Dolphins going to little fishing trolleys and getting them to come and help their family underwater stuck. And I'm just like,
they're so smart.
I'm like, oh my gosh, you know.
Sentience is sentience. People, you know, we've been led to believe through the ages that animals are dumb. They know they're not. They express emotions. They cry. They have feelings.
I think that was lack of education too and research that they said that. Because long time ago, what they do, they hunted anything that moved, right? It's just, again, evolution.
Right.
Don't come at me. The emails. I'm referring to the animals.
Yeah.
And how they're perceived.
And they know who to trust because they do hear you thinking. And most of my life, I'll be doing something and an animal will show up out of nowhere in trouble and ask me for help. And I will pull over and help this animal. It hasn't happened much since Preston and I have been hanging out, but we did have a dog show up one day dying. You know, it's like, oh, okay, here it is. You know, that's how my life is. Another dog showed up. had to deal with that. And birds come to the house. I got a crow that loves me. It calls me. I talk to it and send it food and stuff like that. It has a call. It has a specific call for me only. And I'll
Crows are really smart, though.
Yes, they are.
Ravens, yeah.
Yeah.
Most
Very
contactees
smart.
have a connection to the animal, well, the whole natural kingdom, but definitely animals. It's a question I put on my it's a long, long list.
I've
to ask
always,
people.
I used to be afraid of them because of the stupid movie The Birds, but I found a peace with them since moving from the city to out here because I'm surrounded by them. You know, like
this is weird to me. Is it illegal? I don't know where you're from, but
Australia, isn't Mission Australia or New Zealand?
I don't know. I
Well,
know
you can
in
touch-
America, I know it's not illegal. No, no.
There's-
You
you
can
can't-
swim with them.
That's
Yeah,
true.
You're not supposed to touch them, I think, in certain places.
Certain places, yeah.
Well, maybe because the bacteria from humans is a problem for them.
Might
know.
be.
They're very sentient. I mean, if you guys remember Preston Carl Sagan and a bunch of scientists, they started an organization called the Order of the Dolphin because they believed that dolphins could communicate very easily with, extraterrestrial races, and they would observe them.
Yeah, you
know?
realize that the Navy was already using dolphins in their programs.
For sure. But it was cool because
Yeah.
Carl Sagan went from being a big naysayer
Yeah,
to being
To a few
he
things.
started becoming like more open-minded about it. And the fact that he would even gather with other scientists to even
he did more than
to
that.
do
Yeah,
this specifically.
Yeah.
I thought, wow, that's a big move.
So he would be received differently now.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, if anyone has the opportunity to meet dolphins, though, they should definitely do it because it is like meeting an extraterrestrial species.
It really is.
yeah, they're so smart.
yeah,
If you're traveling and you get to swim with them, go.
yeah.
And then tell the people, and then when the people leave, let them free.
Exactly. There are also animals on this planet that are not from this planet. Okay, that
Like an octopus.
yeah,
I swear.
giraffes, platypus,
Giraffes?
marsupial. Yeah, giraffes weren't here from here. They did not-
Elephants were always here
Yes,
because that's like a spirit animal for me. And wolf.
They've always been here, and it's sad because we're doing to them. It's not good.
No.
There are other animals that are not from here that they bring to different places to see how they're going to do. They didn't know if giraffes would do well, and they do well. We're the idiots. We're the one that are actually harming them as well.
Yeah.
It is these giraffe are basically animals that should be in a lighter gravitational situation. We are very gravity heavy on Earth, and they've had to adapt. And
They really do have a heavy step. Yeah.
So, but all animals are related universe wide. I mean, there's more going on there than you realize, even plants and things like that. I found out today that they have created woolly mice because they're trying to bring back the woolly mice.
I just saw that.
That bothers me a lot.
There's woolly mice because of what?
They're bringing back
They're
genetically
messing with their DNA.
woolly mammoths.
They made glowing mammals. I forget what mammal it was. A cat or a rat or something. A
Just
fluorescent.
And they need to stop. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
just stop. Oh
Right.
my gosh. How are we supposed to?
How can you do this when you're actually watching everything around you de-evolve here on this planet?
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
It bothers me when they put those things out there. There's 4 orcas or there's 4. I mean, I don't have the numbers. I'm like, you have no idea how many there are and how many maybe are just hiding from you.
Yeah.
They're smart. They're intelligent beings. They're not always going to be there because you're kayaking and you want to take a photo. I'm like, you have no idea of what is in that ocean.
Exactly.
Zero.
Lots of stuff
Just
going on.
what you see in tag. That's
We're
all.
doing a whole chapter in Symmetry too about Dolly's adventures in the ocean.
Oh, I
So-
can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that's important to note that they can hear us is because when we go down into the water to cool off, we have two fields going on. We have an inner field and an outer field, and the outer field is on until we cool off, and then it's dropped, and we're only on batteries and we're only working with an inner field. But when we're zipping through the water at 80, 90, 100, 200, 300 mile an hour or faster, we go interdimensional at that point. We are not affecting anything. We'll literally slice through anything in our path, including animals. But they hear us, they know we're there, and they kind of park for us. It's interesting to see that occurring. They go, not by there, get out of the way. And even animals, lower dwelling animals, creatures will move aside for us as we're going through. It is
it's the fluorescent monkeys. That's right here. That would freak me out.
people
Fluorescent monkeys. It'd be so much fun.
Yeah. The other thing I talk about is there are no bases under the ocean anywhere. That is not what they do. The only reason they go down there is because it's a safe place to go to cool off. And it's not just the ocean. It's any big lake, sometimes rivers if they're big enough.
Sometimes the Niagara Gorge.
Yeah, they can do that too. But they're
So what is it? Is it military? Is it ours that tend to go in areas in the ocean? Because there's so many testimonials as to seeing them.
Yeah, well,
No,
if
the
you can
UFOs do
drag
go
a
into the ocean.
cable all the
Yeah.
way across the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific, and this was all the way back, in the 40s and the 30s, okay?
Yeah.
Don't you think that they figured out how to build something underwater? I mean, Jacques Cousteau, they built the big, the hotels underwater. They have that. They learned how to use nitrogen to keep us breathing properly and not die from the blood boiling in the water at depth. It is amazing to me that people don't consider the fact that, yes, the militaries can build bases underwater. Of course they can.
Of course, human made is basically where I'm going. Yeah.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
It's dangerous to do that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Some people might think they're in an undersea base because they're inside a craft and they turn the walls transparent. They're underwater. So you look out and like, wow, we're underwater. is this an undersea base? Maybe not. You're in a craft. And these crafts can be very large.
I'm claustrophobic. I'd freak out underwater. I love the water if I've got gear on and I'm in control. But to be like even in a submarine, I am claustrophobic. That would
I
just
could not imagine doing a submarine.
no, like they did for the Titanic because I really wanted to go. Like I even asked for my birthday if I and then I looked at how small it was, and you're only looking through this window. I said, I have a better view on my TV.
Go. Remember, they all had this horrible
No, not that. I wouldn't have done that. But I mean, like, something like what Cameron used, like not. Yeah, but that's got a conspiracy theory to it as well.
That's a whole other show.
That's a whole other show. That would have us ripped right off of YouTube if we talked about it.
Won't be here. So
if they can find the Titanic, they can certainly go to that little anomaly right off the coast of Southern California. Check that out. They're not doing that.
No.
They can go in the Bermuda Triangle. They know what's in the Bermuda Triangle, by the way. They have sunk cameras down and done all kinds of stuff and gone in with subs. There really are planes down there and boats down there and everything. And it's a long, exhausting disaster over the years. If you find something electronic and you hit that anomaly, you're going to go down in it. That's a problem with that. There's another reason ET doesn't build bases underwater. It pollutes the water. Okay? You hurt animals by building things. They don't like to see us drilling offshore either.
I don't like to see cruise ships in the sea, on the oceans. I have to say that, I don't like it.
Yeah. What if
I don't like the cargo ships? I don't like any of it.
Right. Anything you put in the ocean is going to be a disaster at some point and can cause disasters. And building in the water is not a good thing. Do you realize that how toxic a ship that's been ripped out of everything it has and then it's just left in the water. There's whole places on this planet where they've parked hundreds and thousands of derelict ships that have been gutted and they're poisoning the water. And you
Yeah,
don't
they think they're adding like a sort of reef,
no,
for them, you know, and then end up developing rusticles and things like that.
no, they're not.
It's totally the wrong way, you
And
know.
they always say, "Oh, the salt will just eat it away." I'm like, "No, that's flesh." The salt
animals
eats the
usually do
flesh.
that.
The
They're
fish
fine.
eat the flesh. Your bones go because of the
Yeah.
flesh. But
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't work
Animals
that
will
way.
dissolve. Yeah.
Mhm.
So ET's not doing that. They're not polluters at all.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that I talk about in this one is we go down a list of reasons why they do what they do. Okay. Everybody
Mhm.
seems to be confused about a lot of things. And one of them is the type of craft, how this craft is going to react here and what it's here for. And what you can count on them looking like and not looking like. In other words, I go into detail about what is not ET here. And I'm very specific about it. And then the reasons why they're not here right now as well. I want to try to be more specific about that because a lot of people don't seem to connect to that idea that they're just not here. And everybody's running around believing all this stuff that's going on that's man-made. And it's disconcerting because they're getting ready to do weird stuff with that. And it's not a good thing. And y'all need to be aware.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The other
the
thing is-
disinformation is ramping up right now. I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, this is a little scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
If they wanted reefs, they could just transplant them from one section to, which is what they're doing in these, you know, in the Caribbean seas, and that they're actually transplanting the reefs to keep them going. They're a
Right.
huge part of the ecosystem. They're extremely important.
Mhm. Right.
The other thing is I go into more of the science. In other words, I explain electricity and what gravity really is and things like that. And I go into astronomical things that y'all have ideas about that are totally theoretical on these guys' parts that are not true. I've run into a few astrophysicists and a couple of theoretical physicists, quantum physicists, and they're all coming out and telling the truth now. A lot of them, one in particular, does her own funding. She doesn't rely on somebody else to give her money because she doesn't like to be gagged or told what to say. And she's actually very vocal about everybody's talking what they're saying and how wrong they are for doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. James is just making reference that we all know about. It's just
Right.
a place in the area that's just an anomaly.
Right.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
The street or the building?
The highway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whole area. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So-
it's in the middle of
It
Michelle
is.
and I.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Another
he's
thing we
saying-
go into in symmetry is dimensions, because there's all kinds of speculation about what the various dimensions are.
Yeah.
And ETs actually took Dolly into, was it the fourth dimension?
I've been in the fourth dimension a lot. I do good in the fourth. It's the fifth dimension that I have a hard time with. I can only handle it for less than 5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes and a couple of seconds, because I start to
Oh, so the physicality of it becomes
Yeah.
an issue.
Yeah, my body can't take it. I will be, my particles run away, and
Okay.
I can't hold on.
Understood. Yeah,
And,
that makes sense. You're not built for it, basically.
No, this body.
Can they
is made for
can they
here.
shield you so that you can enjoy it and
there's
take
no
some
shielding.
information?
When we go interdimensional, we always go into the fourth dimension to travel. Okay, and sometimes close to the fifth dimension. I can do 12 seconds, easy. If I'm going to go clean across the universe, we're heading for the fifth dimension to do that. And I can hang on for 12 seconds. It's the longest 12 seconds of my life, but I can do it. Okay. I literally, first time I did it, I held my breath. I didn't know I didn't need to, but I did. And
that could be
everything's
why the
happening. What are
particles were
you
escaping.
I'm like, I don't know. What am I doing? It's like, okay.
Right.
It's easier to make 15 lasagnas at once than it is to do that.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah. I just wonder because, you hear, I'm not going to discredit them and say they didn't have the experience. the people that have told me about this experience, I kind of find like they're friends of mine. They're not guests that have been on. And I just find it hard to believe that they've done this. So thank you.
Yeah.
She's gonna let her know next time she says it.
Yeah. I've been to other worlds, okay, but I've been to worlds that can handle me physically, or I can handle it physically. Okay, I can take There's a range of atmosphere that I do really well in, and there's a range of atmosphere that I do not. Okay, and same with ET. They come here. Not all of them can handle hanging out here. I've developed a very large lung capacity over the years growing up because I was with them a lot and I was doing things. I have giant lungs, okay, bigger than you can imagine. My doctors all freak out when they see them. They go, look at that. I breathe all the way into my belly, okay? And it's because I go to worlds where there's less gravity. Instead of compressing my lungs and putting pressure on them, they let out. And their homeworld, the tall greats homeworld, is less gravity. So my lungs were just filling and filling and filling, and I was getting used to that. I can do well at high altitudes for that reason. I do really well at high altitudes. We were in Denver, and I didn't feel well, but we still ran up the stairs in the Gaia building, and I was like to the top. And I had an issue where I was really not feeling well, but I made it. I went right up. He's like, okay? And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm okay. It's like, okay. I think he was trying to see if I could do it. I swear to you, he pushed me up those stairs for a reason. And it's like, I've had COVID 4 times, maybe 5.
You built the stamina that it takes.
I don't have any scars in my lungs at all. And I came down with valley fever as well. And I should have scars, and I have none. And that freaks them all out. It's like, you don't wheeze or anything, and I can still fill my lungs up to capacity. I have real high blood ox because of it. That's one of the issues that I've done. So what I'm trying to say is that there are different planets in this universe that contain life just like us, where I'm capable of walking on the surface of that planet and interacting and being there. Okay? Seriously. I've been on worlds that are mostly water, very few land masses on them. They're in the Delphi system, by the way. I've been on to worlds where I got to see a sun as it was going red, get ready to supernova, and I got to watch the evolution of a planet dying, going into that sun's influence as it.
Yeah, that's covered in Symmetry in some detail. Yeah, actually.
Yeah. It is. They have given me the opportunity to experience so many things over so much time, and basically, what I'm admitting this time now is that I'm going on 67 years old. This is chronologically here, but I'm actually way older than that because they keep bringing me back to the moment that I left. So I have days, weeks, months, and a few years of age that I would not have if I had just stayed here. I'm closer to 70, actually, physically 70. It's a weird situation.
3 hours each week, on average or so. It begins to add up.
Yeah, it does. One of the things I remember when I was training, that they made sure that I understood that I was going to age much more rapidly than I would if I had stayed here, and that I had to accept the consequences of that.
And but they also give you a little bonus with healing every now and then.
Right. Yeah, they help me out. Yeah.
So there's definitely benefits to it as well. Great health benefits for UFO contactees.
We got more into the energy of Talada and how he is constructed and where he was constructed. His craft itself. Talada is a 5th dimensional being with no body. He's non-corporeal. He exists in the 5th dimension, and there's no way he can come into the 3rd dimension without this vehicle. And it is created in the 5th dimension. People think that they can make it here. They can approximate it, but they can't make it because it's only made there under their technology and their abilities and whatever. And it is a living vehicle. It breathes. It has skin.
Here's a good question. I'm going to bring this up, Dolly.
Okay.
What's the longest time you've been away? Damon.
The longest time I've been away was 2 straight months.
That's a long time.
That's a long
2
time.
straight months, like our time, or is
60
there?
days, 60 long days. And there was a reason for that. And it freaked me out when I came back because you get used to being where you're at. And when I came back, I was completely out of my depth.
Sure. Culture shock.
Yeah.
I wa-
And were you aware of all that time?
Oh, yeah, I'm 100% aware. My life
Okay.
is one long contiguous awareness.
I
And-
want to give you a validation as well, Dolly. I filmed a documentary a couple of years ago, and it hasn't been released yet, so I'm not allowed to give out a lot of information. But when Dolly and I were talking about it, she said Talada's said he's going to come in and he's going to drop in. So the producers, were doing this communication thing, and you could hear clearly during the line of questioning, and all of a sudden you hear Talada. It was very clear. And I did ask for the clip as well. So I'm hoping that once all the editing has been done. So I started to laugh and totally ruin the shot. I'm like, huh? in my style. Ha, there it is. So
That's a great feeling,
I wanted
right?
to validate that because
Yeah.
you had said, well, he said he's going to come by, and it did. He did. Well, it was very, very
Wow.
gentle.
I got the
very
ultimate
gentle voice.
validation. I got taken on board. Full on.
Can he fix my eye?
Yeah, you win. Yeah,
I mean,
that was great.
people can say whatever they want. I know.
I have been there. Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah.
What's
Go ahead,
wrong
Dolly.
with your eye, Amelia?
I have those stupid floaters, but there's one that's driving me bananas, and my eyes are healthy. I've had the checkups, everything. I was in a merge freaking out.
How did it happen? Usually
It's
it's
just-
a blow to the head.
No, it's just from the back of the eye. It's just gel-like. It's aging. I'm going to kill him next time he says that. My eye doctor is about 20 years younger than me, so I feel like I
Does it
should
impede
spank
your
him sometimes
ability
on the way out. Pardon?
Does it impede your ability to see?
Right now, yeah, like it's in front of everybody's nose when this side looks, but it's different times of the day is different. And if I'm I just see this little dot. They say that your eyes get used to it, and your brain doesn't let you see them anymore because I have a bigger one on this side. But I asked Michelle how scared I was. I went to Emerge and then to the Eye Institute late at night to get checked. I was so scared I was going to lose my retina. And my doctor's like, it takes a lot for that to happen. People don't realize because they don't get checkups that it's a long time before that happens. Your eyes are very healthy. I'm like, yeah, but I knew because I was just there a few months ago. So like, if you have any friends that can.
There is a procedure in this country where they can evacuate the fluid out of your eye and totally replace it, and it will take all the floaters out. When they do that, they replace it back. But you have to do exactly what they tell you to do, and you are down for a while. You can't lift anything, you can't get up, you can't do anything because your eye has to heal from that incision. And it's a big deal. And it is a last resort for some people.
Well, I'm not that far gone. Because apparently I can still have LASIK surgery. But anyways, I stop. I just thought, well, if you have any hands and if a lot of likes me, maybe can just swing by and go.
Yeah, they're not here though. See, that's the thing. Everybody says that to me, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how to tell you this. What you might know from ET, if you really want it, is cooperative way for you to self-heal. In other words, they can come out of body to you and join energy with you and help you self-heal yourself. But you have to be ready for that. You know what I'm saying? And you're very psychic, so I don't know. You make the plea to send a message to him and say,
I will. Thank you.
My eye.
I've got like 5 or 10 books on eye healing because I started to really deteriorate my vision in college. And I bought all these books on natural healing. And I stopped my vision from deteriorating by just doing these relaxation exercises. There's all these different kinds of exercises you can do. And they were very effective. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. So, I don't have deteriorated vision though. I'm still 20/20 distant.
No, this will help with vitreous floaters. I think that's what they're called.
Yes. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's laser therapy for that. And I'll tell you why he knows about this. Because personally, I'm 70, okay?
No
And
way.
yes, I'm literally physically
get
70 years
outta
old, and I've
here.
had issues. I had cataracts by the time I was 38 because
I could see that though.
real
Why
big,
you would have it
blue,
because of your
light blue cider.
experiences.
Yeah. And so they fixed the cataracts, and then it lets too much light into my eye, and I started developing these white. You can see them when you look in my eye. You can see white masses in my eye, and everything looks like I'm looking at you through a cloud. And it got really bad. I started going blind, and I went to the eye doctor, and he said, "Oh yeah, let's just do the laser surgery." Boop, 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 boop. And he did it, and I was like, "Oh my God, I can see again," you know. And it was very fast. It didn't hurt or anything. I didn't need Novocaine, nothing. And I just had to let him do it, and shocked me how much vision I got back. Yeah.
Yeah, vision problems is one of the main complaints with contactees, actually, and particularly light sensitivity, to the point where I always ask people that.
Big time light sensitivity.
I have 20 cases of ETs who have healed people's vision. Everything from, glaucoma. One lady, her optic nerve was completely thinning.
Ooh, that's painful.
Yeah, it was bad. And she had a visitation by mantid type beings, and went to the doctor. He's like, "I don't understand this. Your optic nerve is twice as thick as it was last time you were here. What happened?"
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Just thank you.
But detached retina, nearsightedness, farsightedness, all kinds of it. Night blindness. One guy had a visitation. He could zoom vision for like 2 weeks following his encounter.
Yeah.
That faded away, but it was interesting.
Yeah, I have super duper. I've always had 20/10 vision. Okay. I can see very far away. That's why I use glasses now, because I can't see from my hand to my face. When you get older, it just
normal.
But I still see far away. And as I age, it's getting worse and worse and worse. I could probably shoot a gnat off a log at 500 feet. I'm not kidding. And that's how I see it. And it's like, it's annoying to me because I can't pick my phone up. I go, bloody, I can't see this. And I have to put these on, and these are 3.0. That's how high they are. I can't, in Georgia, I'm not allowed to get higher than 3.0. It makes me mad. But yeah.
Really?
Crazy.
Yeah.
No.
Like for reading glasses?
Yeah.
Let me know what you want. I might be able to get them for you.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Just let me know. I'll keep my eyes open.
It's crazy. And but yeah. One of the things I want to tell you is that
my girlfriend's got 3.5, so there has to be.
Yeah, it's not in Georgia. You can't get them. Other states you can, but not in Georgia.
Just regular reading, right? Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna mute.
Kalata is not the only fifth dimensional being that's on board UFOs. And the other thing that I want you to understand is every single UFO you see or have seen up until now that they're not here is a fifth dimensional flyer. In other words, the craft are only indwelled by fifth dimensional beings. When the grays and the tall whites and all those guys got technologically advanced enough to be contacted by them, they were brought in and allowed to learn to join in with them with this technology and do the work with them that they do. This is how advanced they are. And we're talking billions of years in advance. So when a craft crashes, the being that's in that craft indwelling it has to leave. If the craft is damaged beyond, and he can unindwell, they immediately go back to the fifth dimension. They can go back to the fifth dimension. It's a little difficult for them, but they can. The beings, third dimensional beings that are on board the craft with him, like me or like the little grays, or the tall grays or whatever, they're the ones who are in the biggest trouble, okay? Because they could be damaged in a crash, horrifically damaged. ETs will only travel in 2s and 3s. Sometimes they travel more, but the lowest complement is 3, okay, or 2. And the reason is if somebody does go down, the other ones are there to pull them out and get them off craft. And so I don't want y'all to think that a lot of bodies have been attained from every single crash that's ever happened on this planet. No, there's not, because that's no. Not
I'm
at
going
all.
to pop up this question, Dolly, because this is a good one.
All right.
From Tomorrow Kiddo, because you talk about this and people have this conception of how much we've reverse engineered craft. And he's asking, would you say the ships are built or grown or both?
Good question.
All right. Well, we have a skeleton, and the craft has a skeleton that is built. Everything else is grown.
And not all fully in this dimension, too.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So there's just no way
Right.
our governments are going to be able to build a craft that's as advanced as ET, because they're doing it in the fifth
Right.
dimension.
They're still trying to figure out how to pilot one psychically. That's why they want to chip people, because they know how to. They've reversed engineered the little grays, the AI grays. They're psychic, and it's a biological component of their brain, but it's technical as well. And they've learned how to chip so that they can hear you. The quantum computers that they have are psychic. They can hear you because of this. And but it still takes technology to use psychic ability for them, not the actual ability. And nobody with that much psychic ability is going to cooperate with them to help them do any of this. Point blank. That's why they've never been able to how do I put this, torture or adversely work on somebody who's a contactee who can do what I can do into doing their bidding. It won't happen. It will never happen. If they were to take me into custody or whatever, there's no way. If they put me in a craft, me and the craft would be gone. They would be able to stop us. I would go full tilt on them. I would be gone with that craft. I would, get the craft the hell out of there. And they would never dare.
Probably learned that the hard way. I bet.
Yeah, that may have happened a couple times with somebody else like me. I'm not kidding. No way I'm going to help you. No way. Nah. And because that craft is alive and I'm getting it the hell out of Dodge. Excuse my French.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Here's another good question pertaining
put that one up. That's a good one.
Yeah.
There's the lady Leah Haley. She's a contactee. Who says that she was on a craft that actually crashed. She ultimately feels like she was badly mylabbed. So I think she's probably a genuine contactee, just having read her book. Lost Was the Key, and another one.
Yeah, well, I'm bloody lucky that I've never crashed. Okay, and if I had, I would have been on board if they got to us before somebody else did. That would have been bad.
Yeah.
Do you know cases like that then?
No, I do not. That's the thing. I would not be informed of that at all. That would mess with my head. Seriously, I got enough problems than to worry about that.
Yeah, it's a curiosity. Just I was going to add to that question, like that you know of.
Yeah, no, I don't. My ability to remain in a certain state of mind, being all positivity, all ability to see and hear and do everything at the same time is complicated. And Talata aids me with that because we join together and I see through his eyes, I hear with him. I become with him. We're not one, but I come with him. I don't any other way to explain that. And so I'm not using my eyesight unless I stand up and break away from it slightly to look out the port myself. I'm seeing with his eyes. When I'm flying, I don't need a port open because I see with him everything.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, we're slowly, we've got some time left, of course. So where do you want to go next? Now, are there photos in the book? I thought I read something that you would be.
Yeah, we're going to put some photos in the book. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I read that. So I thought I'd mention it. I'm beyond that.
People want photographic evidence. Ultimately, I think that, it's nice, but that's, even the whole adventure story is very cool, but it's the knowledge that I think is most valuable.
Yes.
And there are things that people just need to know. There is another bit we're putting in the book, which I'm really glad because this the talk of the cover-up. We all know it's there. It's demonstrable, but it's far deeper than people realize. And Dolly talks about an incident in the book where she had an encounter with a military pilot and basically did a demonstration. You want to talk about? Our government knows. After you hear this,
film of everybody doing it already. This is what astounds me. The stuff that they show you is military gun video footage, and it's not as good as the other video that they have. They don't just have gun video. They have 7 or 8 different platforms on that crap. Their jets that 1080 HP, they have full color resolution 3D. I mean, they can see everything on those jets. And, we were trying to make a point, and we've been doing it for a long time, even before I was flying. And that is that we're able to come up on a jet and surround them. In other words, top, bottom, side to side. And the idea was to show them that they are not making decisions without us already knowing about it. Psychically, I can hear you before you even make the sentence in your head. I know where you're going to maneuver. And so we stay what they call dead on them. We move when they move. Everything. They can't speed up. We've already sped up with them. We can actually break off and go in front of them and then move out of the way as they come through. There's no move that they can make that we can't anticipate, already know about, or move ahead of them in all ways. That's why you don't hear them talking about, they talk about how fast we are, but they don't talk about the real footage that they've got, in that we can mirror them. Exactly. I hear people talking about these new buzzwords that are hitting.
I'll pull it up right there. He's asking right now, have there been any cases of psionics?
No. You gotta remember that I can hear you thinking, and if you lie, I already know you're doing it. And you can't fool me or trick me into anything, because I'm already 10 steps ahead of you, because I hear you. I know what your intentions are. If you're going to be an ass.
You can say it. Yeah.
Astronaut.
Yeah. Astronaut.
That's what I heard.
Okay.
I heard astronaut.
You can't talk us into coming down when we know what you think. And there's no weapon that's in existence on this planet anywhere that can bring a craft down. The only reason they drop is because the field guidelines around the earth are chaotic, and we lose cohesion and we go down, because pilots are fallible just like everybody else. Somebody has a bad day and boop, they don't make it. They don't react in time and boop, they go down. It is amazing. Notice that they don't have any motherships coming down. They don't have any like Talata coming down. Talata's a pretty bloody big ship, and none of them have crashed. It's only the smaller ones, because they have more of the pilots there. They're not that good yet.
Right.
It is sad to me that this happens. That's why they're not flying here now. Every time I would hear about something, with Preston's research or whatever, I just sit there and cringe, because I'm thinking, did they not get them out of there? It's really weird. But no, psionics is a BS word. Okay, it's not real.
People need to understand.
Already aware of what you're thinking and what you're doing, and we can measure you move by move.
When the contactee is on board a craft working with the ETs, the psychic abilities you have on Earth is one thing, but when you're with them, it's on full tilt. You're talking telepathically all the time. This is how they communicate.
I don't think one word at a time telepathically. I'm capable of understanding almost a book at a time. Okay, if you shoot me a message that's detailed, I already have it, understand it. I'm very well versed in that.
Communicate. Yep.
I drove Preston crazy, because when we first started talking, I talk very, very fast, and I talk in shorthand.
No.
Yeah, I do.
Me with the pencil. Slow down.
I'm like, stop. I have to transcribe this interview.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking something, I'm already hearing it, I will call you on it. I do that to Preston every now and then too. I go, what are you talking about? What are you doing? He's like, huh? I'm like, it's up there.
I do it a few times to her.
Yeah.
Hang out with people.
More contact than we are. Yep. Hello, Central Wisconsin. And I love Wisconsin, by the way. Just saying. Okay. And it's amazing to me. I want you to understand. I'm going to say it again. The full force. These are billions of years in advance of us. People.
That's hard to even imagine.
Okay. There is nothing you can do, say, or try on them. Be real. Okay. There is no evidence in any place on this earth where ETs have been overtaken, beat us up, done terrible things. There's nothing, zero. Okay.
Right.
Nada. And it is important to think this one through. When you're hearing people talk about the things that are going on right now, they're full force into false flag now. They're walking you to it. They're doing and saying things that are not okay. And they're trying to make you think that, one day you're going to wake up and you're going to hear national security incident, boom. And then what's going to hit the fan. And it's already starting to. Every circus that they present is another step toward their agenda. And I'm sad about it. I really am, because I can't believe that humans have stooped themselves to this. Most of us walk around and we think, let's just tell the truth. Let's just love one another. Let's just be okay. And yet we're living in a pile of, oh my heaven, what are you talking about? What are you doing? What are you thinking? Why would you do this? Why would you do something to deliberately hurt yourself or others? Why? Why would you want to be warlike? Why would you want to do this or that? And you got to understand that ET's up there going, we've created
That's
this
why
mess.
contact is so widespread. They're trying to help without coming down and taking over. I wish they would, but they're smarter than that. Because who learns by being told what to do? You have to learn how to do things, solve your own problems.
So what are you hoping? I mean, I think Symmetry 1 woke a lot of people up. What are your hopes for Symmetry 2 with people?
That how I put out to you, the name of Symmetry 2 isn't really Symmetry 2. It's another name.
Yeah,
and
we haven't released the title yet.
Yeah. Okay.
It is the definition that you're going to be given again that used to be in the vocabulary of people way, 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 way back. And I want it to come out again because it helps you understand who you really are. And why waking up is not that big a deal. You can do it. It also helps you to understand that this is a teeny little piece of space that you're occupying right now physically. And it's in comparison to the entirety of the universe and the fact that eternity is eternity, that this is a spit in the bucket and that you're going to move on and do other things, that we really all are beings who are alive constantly. We're just occupying this space for a short time. And I want people to really, really understand that, because that helps you negate fear of losing that. Okay, a lot of people, I've had millions of people tell me, I just want to live forever. And it's like, you already are. What are you talking about? Don't get it. They want this body to last forever. They want the body to go on forever and ever and ever. You can't do that. That's going against what reality is.
Yep.
I'm hoping that this is a directional map for people to come out of delusion and go into reality.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm hoping. Just to give people a little bit of a tool, because it's ultimately up to you to figure out what's true and what's not. And this is, you can't learn the truth by just reading. You have to actually go out and do the work and experience it.
Yes.
So it's absolutely valuable, I think. But ultimately, I really just hope that people read the book so that they can, get a glimpse into like what other dimensions might be. How the ETs view us, how they view the universe, how they view other dimensions, what gravity is. We don't understand gravity here. The ETs do. They're flying around. They know. So when Dolly talks about gravity being very much connected to electromagnetics and electricity, I got evidence of this in some various UFO cases.
Yeah, we got physicists who are now starting to come out and go, this is what it is. Oh my God. The theory thing is not okay, I also want to say something else. There is a center to our universe, okay? Dimensionally, a center. All 12 dimensions, there is a center. And that center is full of condensate. It's water. The only reason you can't see it is because the way we lens, anytime you try to film it or look at it, it's lensing around it like a black hole. Black holes look very dark to you, but they're actually full of light that you can't see. And the center of the universe is all light, and wet. And there's a reason for it to be wet. And those condensates explain it a little bit. It is amazing to me that people don't understand that there's water throughout our entire universe. It is the basis of all life. You can't be
we're 95% water. I mean, it's
right.
It is,
Any life, for animals, the grass, everything depends on water.
The water is a unique molecule. There's none quite like it.
Right.
All molecules are individual, of course, but water is a very special
a little bit too. Yeah, I want you to understand what that is.
And like grass, you can overwater humans as well.
Yes, we drown. Yeah. Ability
people who've died of water toxicity. It has happened.
Yeah, a young boy died of it trying to win a PS4 for her son. She drank too much water. That's when I learned about it. I'm like, I didn't know that because they had to hold it, right?
Yeah.
Everything that's good is also got a dark side to it. Yin, yang, look at that frequency balance.
Yeah, humans don't do well in water, period. Babies have been known to be waterlogged to the point of death. That is something I learned as a nurse. And when you see it happen, you freak out. It's like, oh no.
No.
Yeah. That's why we oil up every day. Most of us who have brains to do so, you oil your skin because it gives you a barrier against drowning. Okay. We need to drink it, imbibe it to the point that it's healthy for us. But if you were to try to live in water like a dolphin, you couldn't do it. Think of your skin. It's very porous and it lets everything in. Dolphins do not whales do not.
We didn't drink water like that when we were growing up. It was whoever's hose was available, and we didn't have it like we do now. But
exactly.
This question, if you want to take it. Oh, hold on. There we go. Hold on. There we go. Where does plasma fit in with this?
Plasma is like frequency. Plasma is a byproduct of energy. When you heat an element up, anything, even air, it gets to the point where it starts to become plasma. The molecules expand to the point that they're so hot that they emit light. That's what plasma is. It's light, heated light, period. And when you see an ET way up high and it's all bright and white and everything, that's because it's at 27,000 degrees on the outside, and you're looking at pure raw plasma all around that craft. You don't see the actual parts of the craft until they come in and they come off their type of nuclear and come in down on batteries and cool off. Plasma is a byproduct. Do some science. Look up the definition of plasma and how does it occur.
Yeah, there was a question way back in chat asking, why do the UFOs go into the water?
To cool off.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're too hot. They're radioactively too hot, and they're physically too hot. They burn you up. They have to get cool. And they go in dimensionally.
I've done a lot of research on USOs. And you can see case after case where they hit the water and all the steam comes off.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they need water as well. Sometimes you'll see a craft pulling water. And they don't pull seawater, they pull fresh water. And they'll pull electricity off of lines and lightning as well, because the batteries need to be recharged every now and then. And if they've been in atmosphere for a long time, or they've had a long day in hanging around and doing stuff with us, they're going to need power for somewhere. And we just so nicely, we have big, huge, trunk lines out there with, the ability for them to suck right off it like a mama for baby milk. And
Thank you.
Another question that was in there someplace, sorry, I apologize. I think it was Kathy who said she was aware that you'd mentioned on another show about ET bugging out, and she's wondering why.
We are in a pole shift. It started about 100 years ago, where our solar system in our galaxy, we're in a spiral arm, and there's an electromagnetic current sheet that they're everywhere in the universe, but we have a few in our galaxy, and they move around like we do. But about every 12,000 years, we sluice through one on a regular basis. And the minute we started going into it, it caused our sun to change its poles, and every planet in our solar system to change its poles as well. What you're seeing energetically with the weather and all that is that a result of the poles changing. It takes a long time for that to occur. When you got two poles, got a positive pole and a negative pole, and then in the middle of the planet you've got the actual magnetic ball of heated iron and everything that's generating magnetism as well. So you've got these lines coming out. Look it up, look for the pole shift and see if you can't see it, or go to it's not suspicious observers anymore, it's space weather observers now. Look them up, Ben Davidson. Okay, and he's got a whole playlist. Watch it; it'll teach you what I'm talking about. And these field guidelines are generated outside of our planet and in our planet and on the surface of our planet. And they're either positive or negative field lines. And when ET comes in, they're flying those magnetic field lines because they use polarity to escape or draw down on electrical magnetism. Okay.
Mhm.
So if
Mhm.
you've got a field line that's positive and it suddenly goes whoop that way, which is
Mhm.
happening while the poles are changing because they're chaotic, that
Mhm.
ship's going to go doing and hit the ground unless that pilot is ready for it and gets out of
Mhm.
the way of it.
Right.
So
Right.
they started crashing so bad for a period of time that they decided that's it. We've pushed the limit. We can't be here anymore. And they bugged out. And they
Mhm.
will not come back until our poles finish changing now. It's not safe for them to be here. You know,
Right.
physics is physics, and they have to live by the law of physics just like we do in the
Mhm.
third dimension, and that's their technology. That's how they fly. So
Mhm.
that's why.
All right. So we've got like, roughly 5 minutes. Where you want to take it? Last words.
Last
Working
word.
on fears. Your book going to help, people working on their fears of
Yes.
what's
we're gonna
coming,
address
what's
that too.
going on, and
We're going to cover that, how you can prepare, the possible timelines, all the
Yeah.
information that the ETs
Yeah.
have shared with Dolly.
Mhm.
It's going to be impossible to share a lifetime of knowledge,
Yeah.
but we're going to do the best that we can and really touch on the important parts.
Mhm.
I still want it to be a little bit of an adventure story and make it interesting, but I really would like to focus a lot on the knowledge, because that is so interesting and so what we need right now.
Mhm. Yeah, I think so. I think we're in a constant state of perpetual confusion, and fears are being instilled on many different levels.
Yes.
So, hopefully this is at least something that, people
Yeah.
can look at and say, okay, so at least I don't have to worry so much about this.
Right. I also want to, while we're writing it out, I'm gonna put in places that you can go and look this information up other than hearing it from me. It's like I'm gonna give you resources in this book so that you can educate yourself beyond what I say. It's like going to an English class and learning from your teacher, but then going to a library and reading through and figuring stuff out as well. It's important for me, if you're going to teach somebody or tell somebody something, you want them to be able to look it up. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to head you in the direction of the knowledge that I'm trying to provide you with so that you can learn it,
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Kathy is asking when the book comes out. It's still in the working stages. I know we're aiming for May. I think that's a little optimistic, honestly, because I am so darn busy and I'm just not seeing any let up with that. But
Yes.
Well, you're going to
we'll
have
be
to
this
start
year for
planting
sure.
soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. And of course you're back. We just booked Preston to come back April the 10th.
I am so excited about this, Michelle.
You be both, Preston. I saw that topic and went, I want in.
I have got some stories to tell. I'm learning some new stuff.
Wait, is this beyond or is this regular?
Regular. We just booked Preston, yeah. So I'm
This
very
is another
excited.
subject.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
we'll talk about it after.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm really excited about it. When I saw that you did, your presentation on it, I went, wait, what?
Mine.
Yeah.
Mine.
Exactly.
We.
And of course, we're going to have them both coming on, throughout both shows, throughout the year. So lots to look forward to with everybody. And I'm really thrilled that you guys came on, and I'm excited for this book. I've got the first book. I'll get book 2, of course, because now, you piqued my curiosity.
Symmetry's on Audible now too, so
Yeah.
people don't like to read or just don't have time.
It's not don't like. Sometimes it strains your eyes, and it's just easier to.
Yeah.
I have not done an Audible book from beginning to end yet. I haven't been able to because I'm a book sniffer.
I am too. I love books. Just touching them is enjoyable.
It's like, especially when they're old.
Another one of Amelia's addictions. Book sniffer. Wow,
I'll never match your chairs, though. Not anything that I do will ever come compared to Michelle's chairs.
Yeah.
She's up here. I'll never catch up.
Oh my God. I know. I don't
even my collection of designer shoes don't come close to her chairs.
I can't even go with shoes. I got a lot of those too. So anyway. So thanks to everybody in the chat room, from Preston's page, our our pages. You guys are doing awesome. And thank you for all of your contributions. And of course, Dolly, thank you, for coming forward, because you take a lot of hits. You really do. You take
Yeah.
a lot of hits,
I
and
mean,
and you take it like a champ. I have to say.
I try to. I have my days. I
Yeah.
privately
Yeah.
sometimes go, why am I doing this? But yeah.
I know.
It's funny. You can get 100 great comments, and then one bad person spoils the whole barrel.
Yeah,
It
that's
does.
true.
It's hard
That's
when you don't
true.
have a thick skin. I don't, so I understand that. It's hard. It's a
It is.
process. It's a growing process.
Yeah. So thanks to all the people out there,
Oh,
like the
microphone's
people in
on.
chat who are very supportive.
Love you.
Oh, we've got great people in chat. You have
Yeah.
great people in chat. Tomorrow night, guys, we're welcoming back Daryl Walsh, and this would be interesting because he's a skeptic parapsychologist, and the topic is actually going to be from skeptic to becoming a believer.
I know
So,
the feeling. Nice.
right? I was going to say,
Those
so
words don't go together in parapsychology. I'm just saying.
well, so I'm kind of like, what's the magic
Yeah.
moment that
Yes.
made that the question mark up and go, okay, wait a minute, this might be real, So it's going to be pretty exciting. So big thank you to Preston Dennett, Dolly Safran. Nice to have Amelia back. Thank you to everybody in
Yes.
chat. Thank you to Folgers Coffee. Thank you to Justice Snicker, Steve McGinnis, United Public Radio, UFO Paranormal Radio, 107.7 FM New Orleans, 105.3 FM on the Gulf Coast. Thank you all, and we shall see you tomorrow night. Say goodbye.
Thank you,
everybody.
Michelle.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Bye, everybody.
Everyone.